Okay, yeah. So I wanted to make this video. Maybe, you never know who could be watching and what their experiences could be. But so like I like to just kind of like just I'm an open book with things because I remember when I was growing up, like people wouldn't be necessarily open books with me. So I just thought, like personally, I thought everybody else was just perfect. And I was like the only one who had doubts or, questions. So after I grew up and learned in life that, other people, most time other people be more scared of stuff than you are. And I learned these things, I feel the need to like maybe over explain a lot or maybe go like or maybe like say a lot of what you may already know, but there could be like a sentence or two sentences that you may have never thought about. Because this is how I learned from other people. Like, so I could go through a topic that I've gone over 300 times already, but then this other person can mention one sentence, and that whole sentence can have send me down a whole nother thinking path in life. So this is why I like to like over explain and maybe touch on things that other people have already touched on because you never know what somebody else knows. That's just the reality of it. But yeah, so I want to talk about my history in dating. My history in dating. First off, I was always terrible, completely awful in like clubs or like online dating. Well, in America, when in because I grew up in America, so I was always. So I'm only speaking for America when I'm speaking on like in the beginning stages. I was always awful with online dating, any type of club settings, like anything where you pretty much had to pull a woman in the first conversation. I've always been awful with that. Always. I've always and every now I mean I did get lucky from time to time and end up, having sex with a girl like the first time I like, within the first few hours of meeting her type of thing. But that was probably more her prerogative instead of mine in reality. She was probably just super horny. You never know. But yeah, anything that caused for me to like like in the club setting, you pretty much got to like pull a woman like you got to be like appealing and something interesting to the woman in the first 15 to 20 seconds, and after that she's going to lose interest and go on. And I've never been that type of person to be good at that. And personally, and I tell you why, like I even like prefer hookers now at an older age is because I'm not the type of guy, like I genuinely don't like the lie that has to go in with the club mentality and like the Tinder mentality, like that kind of whole like making a decision in 5 seconds kind of thing. Because what happens is it's that lying mentality that I see. Because a lot of times I just want to have sex with a woman, and that's where prostitutes are great. Because you could just walk up to a prostitute and just say like, or text or email, whatever, say, "Oh, I want to have sex with you. How much?" And it's just, and the deal is just flat out on the table. There's not this lie of, yeah, like I think you're cool, and then signals are getting confused, and she's thinking you want to like a long term relationship, and you just trying to fuck her, and you just might like her ass and her skin complexion or whatever, and you just trying to fuck her and leave, and then like she ends up heartbroken or mad, and then you got to live with the guilt of like lying to this woman to get in her pants. Like I just don't like the lie in dating. So I personally, that's why I personally prefer buying. I would personally prefer buying a hooker if it's a woman that like I just want to fuck. Like I don't like to get with a woman, say, "Hey, yeah, you look good, you smell good, you're really pretty, blah blah blah," and then hyper, hit up just to fuck her and then never call her again. I think that's really shitty that men do that personally, but other men would think that me buying prostitutes is shitty. So it's whatever you like to do. But back to the start in dating when I was like younger, like I think the first time I remember trying to date a girl, like, you know, on any type of serious level, I was probably in high school, man. And for me, like, and I think I won't say a lot of guys, but I think like there is definitely a population of men who go through this when they're younger. It's like you go through this phase of like, why would anybody find me desirable? So like you have to kind of go through that entire phase of like dating over and over again when you're younger to finally get the self-esteem like, yeah, like I am desirable, you type of thing. But when you're like 15, 16, for me it was like, why would anybody find me desirable? Like I think I'm the ugliest person on earth. I think I'm just the shittiest person on earth. Why would a woman find me? Why would a girl want to like actually want to talk to me? So then like of course you get rejected a lot. You like some even like you, but it's always that thing like the ones who like you don't like them. You want, the other one. So you go through that. For me, I think like the first time, I think I went through honestly, I went through that phase until I was about 22. And the last girl I remember the last girl I went through that phase with. And she ended up like lightweight moving in with me, and we went to college, and yeah, I ended up leaving her at a bar because I didn't think I deserved her. That's real shit. I left her at a bar because I thought I was not good enough for her. And I was like real fucked up that I did that. And of course, like the girl never talked to me again, which she shouldn't have talked to me again. Cause I mean, it's the reality. Like at the time I couldn't see the reality, but looking back, yeah, she shouldn't ever talk to me again. But I didn't really, like I said, that was probably about the last incident of that. After that, um, I became the I guess the top dog in relationships after that. Like meaning like the woman would then like try to would come after me and contact me, and I would be, cool with it. And I think the next girlfriend I had, it was like a year or two after that. The next like legit girlfriend I had, I actually took her from another guy. um and it was just and I'm not really proud of it, but it was one of those situations where like you see someone and you just like you're just taken by them. Like you don't care what the consequences are. I mean, you don't like rape them or anything like that, but like you're at least going to try. Like, and you just don't care. Like it's just something about how they just walk, talk, look at you. They're just perfection. And I ended up taking her. I tried getting her for about 2 months. I remember it was when Man of Steel came out. I asked her if she wanted to go see Man of Steel with me, and she said no, she didn't want to go see it. So I went to go see Man of Steel by myself, and it was at that and I remember being in a movie theater shocked that Man of Steel was like legitimately. I thought it was a legitimately good movie because I was expecting DC Superman. They were gonna fuck it up, and that was in my opinion the only one worth watching. I didn't really care for Wonder Woman a whole lot. But yeah, I ended up taking her boyfriend at the time. It took about a month or two, and then she, like I said, how it started. I remember the first time she started like coming to me. Like I left and went to an elevator at school, and she came and followed me to the elevator and just wanted to stand next to me with her arms crossed and looking down. And that was the start. And then after that, like she would like, she took my number because we worked at the same college. So she would take my number. She took my telephone number from the school and started calling me. She never even asked me for my number. She just stole it and started calling me. This is why I'm telling you, men, like this is how you know when a woman likes you. If she's pretty much worshiping the ground you walking on, or like stalking you, or like in this situation, like pretty much let you know she stalked you, that's when a woman really likes you. You see what I'm saying? If she's not doing these things, then she's like more indifferent about you if the weather's right, type of thing. But yeah, I dated her for a while, man. And, that was cool. I'm trying to think. But yeah, I remember I was 19. I dated a woman she was 25 at the time, and I was 19, and she was a stripper, and it was the same thing. I was 19, she was 25. It was the same thing. She and long story short, like we're technically related now, but we weren't related at the time. But we're like not we're not blood related, but we're like that technically like her sister married my cousin type of thing. So now we're like legally related type of shit. So, but at the time, her sister was dating my cousin, and at the time, this girl was like everybody knew her. Like she was one of those girls that like everybody wanted to fuck type of thing. And I remember I would notice like she would always just happen to come by when I was over there hanging out with my cousin. You see what I'm saying? Like she would always kind of just happen to be there. And and then one time, like eventually, like her sister finally just gave me a pen and said, write down the number and call it. And it was, it was her sister's number, the beautiful girl. At the time she was beautiful. And like I said, I was 19. I'm 33 now. This is 14 years ago. So that girl's like, that wall has come in, smashed her face front, and then kept moving. But at the time, she was 25. This is 14 years ago. So 14, what's she, 35? Oh, she's 30. Jesus Christ, she's fucking old now. She's almost 40. That's crazy. Like my dad watches that, say she's old at 40. But no, I keep going with the story. So yeah, like, and so what happened was, I can't remember if I called her for. I'm pretty sure I didn't call her first because I had very low self esteem at the time. I had really low self esteem. So I remember she would like call me. I had one of those T-Mobile fucking flip phones. This is before smartphones, and she would like call me all the time, and I would just ignore it. And I wouldn't. And I was, to be honest with you, I ignored it because I had low self esteem. I didn't think that she should be talking to me, type of thing. So I would ignore her phone calls and like dodge her especially after I found out she liked me. Like I was like trying to avoid her because she was just out of my league. I was 19. I was a dork. I didn't have anything to offer. I drove a, not a piece of junk car, but it wasn't a nice car. I lived at home with my dad, and this girl was 25. She was a stripper at the fucking time. And she had her own place, had a decent car. Like, why the fuck would this girl be this fucking, you know, just from her, just how she stood up on the street? Why would she want to talk to me? This is the low self esteem I had at the time. Is that typical American male self defeating personality? See, like I wasn't like this. I say 5 years ago, I wasn't like this. I says, yeah, man, like what got me out of that shit? Like I said, I moved to Europe, man. I started running around there, and my self esteem went through the roof. Like, because I learned what the fuck shit really was. But back then, I didn't know. I was a fucking kid. I was American. I was American male, man. This is what American men are like subliminally taught, is to be self defeating and to worship a fucking woman. And like, I dodged that girl for at least a month before I finally started like slowly like talking to her. And I remember, like, I was so dumb, right? I'll tell you exactly what I did. I was so fucking stupid. Um because I remember it was the last Monday night football game on like mainstream television in America, right? Because y'all know, if you guys, some of you may be a little younger, but Thursday night football used to come on Monday night on like the main channels that you don't need cable for. And this was the night. It was the last Monday night football. And I'm pretty sure it was like the Colts versus, because Peyton Manning was playing for the Colts then. Anyway, she worked at a hotel, and she wanted me to come with her and hang out at the hotel, right? So I'm so dumb. I'm saying I still am dumb in this regard. Like I still probably wouldn't pick up on it. She, she comes, picks me up, drives me to the hotel. We get a hotel room. No, I think we bought some beers and stuff along the way. Takes us to the hotel, and I'm 19. She's 25. She buys me beers, takes us to the hotel room. And keep in mind, matter of fact, she was fucking a lawyer at the time. So maybe it was like some kind of way of her getting back at him to fuck a 19-year-old dude. You know how women's brains are with shit like this. We so we get to the hotel room. I'm watching football, sitting on like the fucking edge of the bed, drinking beer, watching the game, and she's laying down on the bed. And then I think I was getting a little tipsy, so I asked, like, "Did you want to have sex?" And she goes, "Oh, well, it's fine if you want to have sex, but if you don't, that's fine too." And I'm so fucking stupid. I still remember this. Like, I'm like not even like. See, now I would just shove my dick in her mouth while she's laying on the side of the bed. Now, I know what the fuck to do. But I was 19. I was fucking stupid. I'm getting tipsy. So we did start having sex. Like I did fuck her, but like I was so fucking dumb. It took me like ages to fucking catch on. Like, and yeah, we fucked for a while. And of course, like she did the whole like, yeah, she definitely broke my heart because I was 19. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So she broke my heart, whatever, blah blah. Life moves on. Uh yeah, and like I said, I mean, my dating history, like the relationships that I stumbled upon came like completely in scenarios where like it probably should have never happened. Like, and that's how my employment in life has always gone. Like it's always like I've never gotten a job based off me formally filling out an application and sending it to someone. I've never gotten a job like that. It was always through somebody I knew, or I was drinking at a bar and got to talking to somebody, and they said, "Yeah, we'll hire you," or I met somebody at the car wash and they work at this company and then they wanted somebody and they said, "Oh yeah, yeah, you like you be a good fit. You got me education, blah blah." Yeah, and I have never to this day I've never gotten a job by legitimately typing out and filling out an application online or in person and then doing filling out a questionnaire and then getting a call back because I tested. I've never gotten a job in a formal way. And just like girlfriends, I've never gotten a girlfriend or a wife. Now I tell you, I did find my ex-wife off Tinder and you while I was in Europe, and that was really an awkward scenario. But and I would say that would probably be one of more formal ways of doing it, like like you were properly approached in some type of way. But like it was always some real out the way fucking awkward scenario why I end up doing it, man. But yeah, yeah, that's my history with specifically dating goes. But yeah, man, like going back to another video, whatever you're doing, you are perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Just be you and accept you, and it's all good, man.